Welcome to the Charleston CFO Council. This organization was co-founded in 2015 by Robert Bendetti and Mark Carmichael in order to provide a networking and educational forum for senior financial executives to share best practices, to discuss current financial issues, and to learn about current topics related to the performance of their job.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Fantastic, Robert. Thanks for having me today. I hope your week has been good.
It has. It's been awesome. I'm excited for the weekend. I got to catch up with my neighbors. Everybody else in my neighborhood is working remote, which really means they're mowing their lawn, they're painting, they're pressure washing, and I'm getting behind. And so that's all I'm gonna do all weekend is working in the yard.
Yeah. My son asked me yesterday, Dad, why is that guy cutting his yard on Thursday afternoon?
Exactly. Well, Warren Blanchard is a risk management executive with McGruff Insurance. I noticed that on your LinkedIn profile, you specialize in manufacturing, distribution, and technology companies, but you do a little bit of everything. And if I understand correctly, you got your bachelor's in business administration from Presbyterian College. Is that correct?
Go Blue Hose.
Well, the Blue Holes, as I understand it, are in the FCS Big South Conference. They're the second best football team in that conference. I believe that the Kennesaw State University is also in that football conference. Is that correct, sir?
I believe that's right.
And if I have the statistics correct, in 2017, the Kennesaw State University beat Presbyterian College 28-0. Is that correct?
I didn't think it was even that close.
And then in 2018, the Kennesaw State University beat the Presbyterian College by 56-0. Is that correct, sir?
I think that's the game I remember. Yeah.
And then in a major comeback in 2019, the Kennesaw State University beat Presbyterian College by 55-10. Yeah, so it's getting closer.
It is. It is.
And something interesting that I found out about Warren, I think that you were a soccer player in college. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Oh, I finally got some right. I've been totally missing.
I was a specialist on the soccer team. I was the closer. And so if there was 5 minutes left and we were leading by 5 or down by 5, I got to play the last 5 minutes.
The rule of 5. I like it.
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah.
Warren, question number 1. What is your favorite book and why?
Yeah, so I'm sporadic with my reading. I wish I was a little more regular with it, but I kind of read in bunches. I love anything Malcolm Gladwell because he just has such a unique way of looking at the world and seeing it from a different perspective than I do and making me think about things differently. So from an author standpoint, I really like him. But I did read a book about a year ago that I've told a lot of people about called The Happiness Curve. And I do not recall the author, but you could Google it and find it pretty easily. And essentially what this author is speaking to is the fact that almost everybody, as they reach midlife, 45 to 55, there are some emotional and psychological changes that we are going through that cause us to have doubts, ask questions, maybe do some crazy things like buy a Corvette or or do all kind of crazy things. So it really helped me kind of understand some of the emotions I was processing. I would highly recommend it for anybody that's in that age group, but I would say that it is a must read for anybody that manages people, particularly in that age group. If you want to retain those people, you're going to need to understand them. And we spend a lot of time worrying about millennials and their constant need for affirmation and the things that we're doing to coddle them. Well, the 45 to 60-year-old bracket probably needs some special attention as well. And this book kind of speaks to that.
Very good suggestion. Warren, I'd never heard of the happiness curve and how timely that is in this time, in the current epidemic. I think we could all use some new tools in our tool belt about happiness. Excellent. All right, question number 2. What is the best advice you've ever received?
Well, if I heard my dad say this once, I heard him say it 100 times, and that you need to live well within your means. And again, that's a very timely piece of advice. My father was a dentist, and I grew up thinking that we were poor. I mean, it was like he saved so much money, and I'm not that extreme, but I do try to be sure that, I'm not living to the edge of my means. And I think from a business standpoint too, as you manage a business, or if you're responsible for the funds of a business, advising ownership and management of what is practical and reasonable, and being sure that when there is a rainy day like we have right now, that the Treasury might be there to support that.
Man, amen. And how I think that's good for your personal well-being, your marriage, like you said, a business, that 10-10-80 or 10-10-10-70, that's strong. You got a father with some really good advice. So you started out with a solid foundation. Question number 3, Warren, have you got a new tool that you've recently started using, or a new habit that you've picked up that you have found beneficial?
Yeah, so I've been working on this for a while now, and constantly trying to ask better questions. And what I learned after the last recession is that, the finance department, the HR department, all the people that I typically engage with were cut to the bone. So those people now had more job and less help within their department, and less time to spend with me. So I needed to learn how to get from point A to point B quicker, ask better questions so we can understand what their priorities were, identify what problems they had that were important to them, not to me, but to them. And if they had the time and energy and resources to attack those problems, and then if we could help them solve those problems. So I think that's really the thing I've been trying to refine is what are the questions that are going to help me get to that answer in the shortest time possible, so that we're efficient with everybody's time.
Amen, brother. Amen. Question number 4. What is the best part of your current job?
Well, I laugh at this question because my current job is my only job, and we can touch on that if you want to. But I basically worked for the same people for the last 28 years, and part of my job is understanding what the business does, how it does it, and how it turns that into a dollar. And so I'm constantly asking for the tour. And if you're going to give me the nickel tour, I'm going to try to get a quarter out of that nickel tour. I ask a lot of questions, and I've probably seen over 500 different industrial operations in my career. And it just fascinates me. I'm not an engineer. I don't think that way, but I just like to understand, how things get made, and where the raw materials comes from, who the end customer is, and just all the pieces and parts that make that happen. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's smart. That's good. I like that. You got like the heart of a teacher and a learner.
I'm a curious guy.
And clearly not a job hopper. One job? Oh my gosh.
How about that? Yes.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
One job and one wife.
God bless you. That's awesome. That's awesome.
My goal, if I can make it till the end of my career and have the same job and never have to manage a single person.
That sounds so well. No, I enjoy managing people. Warren, we covered some personal stuff here. What's something maybe we don't know about you that you would like to share?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised you hadn't mentioned this since we kind of touched on this earlier this week in a different conversation. But I am actually a moonlighting CFO for a very small business. And my wife has a Jamboree play and music franchise in Greenville, and she knows nothing about accounting and finance and things those like that. So I have been doing her QuickBooks and handling her banking and things like that since she started that business. So it gives me great empathy and understanding for those of you that do that every day. So I might spend 5 or 6 hours a month doing that in total, but my clients tell me that experience with her business is kind of helping me connect better with them. For example, we've all been going through these challenges with the coronavirus stuff, and her business has been closed since April 15th or March 15th, actually. So I've been trying to help her understand how to cut costs, plan for the future, apply for this payroll protection money. Now that we've got it, how do we deploy it without getting in trouble? All those problems that every finance person has been having for the last couple of months. So that whole experience really has been invaluable with my own job of trying to relate and connect with people that have similar challenges. But it's been fun. Working with your spouse is interesting, but we've made it work. We have very complementary skill sets.
Wow, that's a test of the marriage. You guys have a strong bond to have stayed together. Well done. And wow, question number 6. It happened so fast. What is something that I didn't ask that I should have asked? And what's your answer to that?
Well, the question that I've been asking everybody for the last 6 to 8 weeks is, how are you handling this? How are you adapting to this? What's your business doing to handle all this adversity? And I've just been really impressed with not just McGriff, but how the entire insurance industry has responded. There was some criticism early on about business interruption coverage not being applicable and all that. But if you really look at it, the insurance industry itself has done a lot of things to really be proactive to try to help our clients make changes to their program midstream that they would not have normally made, allowed them to make to cut costs and change the cash flow. Insurance companies have basically extended payment terms so that if you're late on your payment, they're not going to just send you that nasty gram and cancel your policy. And they've been really good about providing remote resources and things that I never would have thought we could have done before remotely. So I just want to, put a pat on the back to the insurance industry as a whole and how well they have adapted to support, the business communities. And even on the personal side, State Farm came out right out of the gate and cut everybody's rates on the auto insurance because they realized people aren't driving. So.
Yeah, it's been kind of surprising, but it's been nice to see it. And kudos to the whole industry and McGriff in particular. The whole Truist umbrella, I think, has been really strong. And I appreciate you doing this. I have really appreciated your friendship. I consider you a trusted advisor. I've had some nice, quiet conversations with you, bouncing ideas from my business broker that I have onto you. It's nice to have that second set of eyes. And also, you're one of the only or few members of both the Charleston and the Upstate CFO Council. So I see you all the time. So I'm glad I like you. And now I know why I like you. Not only does my football team beat your football team every year, which is awesome, but you're a nice guy. You've had one job. You've had one wife. You build Legos. I see a Lego airplane in the back. You're just an all around awesome dude.
Thank you, Robert. The feeling is likewise.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you for doing this. This was awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate all that you do with the council. This is a great group, and I've thoroughly enjoyed being a part of both councils. And it takes a lot of energy to keep it going. And what you're doing now during this period when we can't have breakfast is fantastic, and I applaud you for that.
Thank you, sir.